Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in to another Merley On Time watch reviews. Today I am going to look at the brand Lorus. As Seiko prices seem to be going up and up, I wondered if one of their subsidiary companies would offer a quality watch for a little bit lower, and so that's what we're going to look at today in a Merley On Time. First, a quick review. That's right, I'm going to attempt anyways to get this review done in under 15 minutes. Is it possible? Let's find out. So you can see I've got everything ready. I've got my new charcuterie board that my buddy Timmy Atten made for me. You can follow him at Timmy the Carpenter on Instagram. I'll leave a link right here where I unboxed this watch and was presented this board to film my watches against. And you can actually see a little bit of how Timmy went about making this board. It's a really cool video. Check that one out. I do want to ask for your help though before we get into this review. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing so because I have a great giveaway lined up. At 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a 2-watch collection. I'm going to give away a quartz watch and an automatic watch. 3 of the watches you saw in hand there that are on slate for this giveaway: the Rolex Daytona Homage by Pagani Design, the Seiko Captain Willard Homage by Steel Dive, and I have a Spinnaker Hunley on there as well. So if you want a chance to win those, once I reach 1,000 subscribers, please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and thanks so much for supporting the channel. We're going to do the up close and personal look at this watch now. Enjoy. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the up close and personal. So here is the watch, and we are dealing with model number R3A59AX-9. There are other color variations of this particular model. 57 is a red one that looked really interesting online. I wasn't able to find this particular watch directly on the Lorus website, but I did find it on Watch Shop. I bought it on Amazon. You can see a price tag here of $39.99. That would be Great British pounds. It's actually on sale, or for sale I should say, on watchshop.com for £60. I bought this one for 80 Canadian dollars on Amazon. Of course, I'll leave a link in the description below. I bought this watch because I really do fancy this dial, and just have a look at it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So let's go over the basic specifications, and then we'll talk about what I like about the watch and what I don't like about the watch. So we have a case diameter from the 8 to the 2 of 41 millimeters. You have a case thickness from the stainless steel case back to the crystal of 10.5 millimeters. You do have a lug to lug, and you can see we have a female end link, and so it is a true lug to lug of 47.5 millimeters. You have a mineral crystal covering the dial, and it is 50 meters or 5 bar of water resistance. As you can see, it's rated there. The construction of the watch, according to Watch Shop, is based on basically a combination of stainless steel and base metal, they call it, and I would say it is most likely an alloy, and it definitely does contribute to the lightness of the watch. It certainly doesn't feel in hand like a super expensive watch, and it isn't a super expensive watch, but you do have a stainless steel pressed down case back. You do have, I believe, this to be a stainless steel crown, although it does seem to have some plating on it, or some alloy plating on it, like the rest of the case. And I imagine that bezel as well is not stainless steel. It's probably fitting with the base metal of the case as well. Your bracelet is a stainless steel bracelet. However, you can hear how jangly it is, and that is because it does have hollow links. It also has hollow end links. They're not solid end links there. The bracelet itself is nicely finished. I will say that about this bracelet, although it is very cheap and not a very good bracelet. The surfaces of the bracelet are nicely polished, actually quite nicely polished. I do like the finishing on that. It does actually look good on the wrist, even though it is a cheaper bracelet. You do have just a cheap pressed clasp, fold over deployant with double security pushers to lock it in place, and really pitiful, only has 2 levels of micro adjust, and so you may or may not get a snug and perfect fit. I happen to get a decent fit on my 7.5-inch wrist, but I say the fit is important because these hollow end links, and you can see just inside there, if you do have it on a little bit loose on your arm and you have a hairy arm such as myself, this is going to tend to be a bit of a hair puller, unfortunately. And so one of the things you might want to do if you consider this watch is swapping out this bracelet. It does have a 22 millimeter wide bracelet at the lugs, and so you should be able to swap it out easy enough. The integration of that hollow end link to the case is nicely done, just perfect along the edges there, and it's not particularly loose or anything like that. And so despite the fact that the bracelet is really bad, again, it does look quite nice. The movement inside the watch is a Seiko VD77 movement, and over 1 week of running this movement, it was running at 0.4 seconds per week fast. And so over a period of a month, you might be looking at close to 2 seconds fast over a period of a month. I'm not sure if that is on par or standard for this particular movement or not. The star of the show is this dial, and I absolutely love the dial. Let's zoom in on it and you can see why. It's got a really cool checkerboard pattern around the 2 halves of the dial. 2 halves of the dial separated by these silver lines that go across the middle. Lorus 5 bar printed there. These indices are not applied. I think they're just pressed up from the bottom. Don't think they're applied indices. They do have a little bit of lume in them, not much. I do love the broad sword hour and minute hand, and a little touch in between with the triangular silver there going up both of them. I just think this is a cracking, nice looking little watch. I mean, it really is. And the sunburst effect on this dial is quite nice. You will see the checkerboard on the top and bottom half kind of going in and out and disappearing, and some light playing off of them, giving it a different color from dark blue to black to light blue. So I really am fancying this dial quite a bit. It is absolutely gorgeous. I just think that they hit a home run with this one with respect to the look on the dial. Particularly if you look at the subdials, you have your 60-second subdial here, and that's just for keeping time on the watch, and a 24-hour subdial. I'm not a huge fan of 24-hour subdials, but what I want you to see with respect to the design of putting these subdials in is how they kept these tooth-like indices going, and instead of just making them smaller or a little bit different than the rest, they just basically cut the indice out to shape around that subdial on both sides, and I think that is a really neat touch on their part. It's just a pretty sterile looking side profile, no branding on the crown. There is some branding on the fold over clasp, Lorus there. You can see it is quite nicely brushed as well, Lorus etched on to the clasp, and so for $80 you are getting a pretty decent watch, in my opinion. Certainly it would be an alternative to buying a more expensive Seiko, and you're getting really nice dials. I looked on the Lorus website, and you should go on the Lorus website, and I'll leave a link in the description. Just like their Papa Seiko, I guess you could call it, they have really nice looking dials on their website. The hollow end links are a little bit tricky to deal with, and so what I am going to be doing after filming this review is showing you how to adjust a hollow end link watch, and here's what it looks like. They are a bit of a pain, but this part will come out. Let me see if I can get it out for you here just with my fingernail. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge here. Ugh. There we go. Okay, so that's what the link looks like, and they're a little bit tricky to size, so I'm going to be doing a proper how to size a hollow link bracelet following this one. And so this is the Lorus. I think it is for the money, $80, and I actually found it on another website, which I will try and remember to leave in the description below, where you can get this for just over $50 Canadian. And what you're getting is a really nice looking watch, and so your case all polished. It has a polished look, like this is just basically an alloy plated, I would say, case, but it's finished like that throughout, top, bottom, bezel, and then some nice brushing on the bracelet there. It definitely gives this watch a really nice sporty and dressy feel to it. So what do you guys think of this one? Would Lorus be something that you would look into if you don't want to spend $200 or more on a Seiko? Spend less than $100 on a Lorus. You're getting a Seiko affiliate branded watch with a Seiko movement in it. I think I would go for another one of these, notwithstanding that bracelet. I mean, but otherwise, definitely a decent watch for the money. I'll show you the lume shot. It is not as overwhelming as the lume on a Seiko, unfortunately. Let's take a look at the lume now. So as I'm charging up the lume, I think you will see that this lume is, well, it's actually quite disappointing, given that this is a Seiko subsidiary company. I was hoping that it would have decent lume on it, but as we fast forward, you can see the indices appear only after a couple of minutes, and the hands don't even make it to the 5-minute mark. So the lume on this one is actually a bit of a disappointment, to be honest. And one more thing to mention before I show you the wrist shot. This is a particularly interesting aspect of this watch. I'm not sure if you can see it through there, but there is no flange or rehaut between the dial and the rest of the case or the bezel. And so the interesting thing about that is if you watch the dial while I pull out this crown, you will see that the dial moves a little bit. And I suspect that's because there's no flange or rehaut there, kind of putting pressure on that dial and keeping it in place. And while I'm only going to be changing the time twice a year on this watch because it doesn't have a date window, I'm not going to be using the crown that often. That's still a bit of a disappointment as well. But what I'm not disappointed about is the way that this watch looks. And I think you can see from the wrist roll here that even though this is a cheap hollow link bracelet, the brushing and the finishing on the bracelet actually looks quite nice, and it gives the appearance of having a more expensive, more quality bracelet than it actually has. And so I think this is a pretty awesome looking watch for the price that I paid for it. Let me know what you guys think. So that's my full review of the Lorus R3A 59AX. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm not sure as I am filming this whether I cracked underneath that 15-minute benchmark or not, but I sure hope I did. I appreciate all of your support, everybody. Help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. Once again, thank you for hitting subscribe. If you haven't done so already, please hit the thumbs up button. That really does help. Please leave a comment and let me know what you thought of this watch from Lorus, and if you have a Lorus yourself, or if this video would inspire you to perhaps look at the brand to buy for yourself. As always, remember, when you leave your house, you need to have a great looking piece to wear on your wrist like this Lorus watch. I really do think it is a fantastic looking watch for the money. And remember, wherever you're going, to get there on time. Thanks a lot, everybody. God bless you. We'll see you in the next one.